This is the plaintiff, Najahana Carranza. She says the defendant's her nephew, and she loaned him money to get his car fixed, and then to get a new phone. Well, nephew or no nephew, it's been almost 2 years, and she hasn't been paid back. She wanted to help her nephew out, but the guy needs to be taught a lesson in responsibility. So she's here suing him here and now for the $779 she's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Alexander. He says he saved the plaintiff almost $700 on a new phone because he used his employee discount at the electronics store he works at, and they're now even. He also repaired a car for free. A family's supposed to help one another out, and his aunt is being very petty by suing him today. He's accused of causing a family fallout.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that she loaned her nephew money for car repair and a new cell phone, and her nephew stiffed her. Family or no family, she's suing him. But the defendant says he and his dear aunt are even because he got her a new phone with his huge employee discount and owes her nada. It's the case of you're a real phony.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Carranza, you were suing your nephew, who wants to go by Alexander, Mr. Alexander, for $779 that you say you loaned him and he refuses to repay. Tell me what's going on.
I had loaned him on 2 separate occasions, one for his car, which was $600, and again for his phone that he had broken for $179.
Okay.
So
when did you loan him that money?
December of 2020.
All right, and under what circumstances did you loan him the money? Was he supposed to pay you back?
Yes, Your Honor.
When was he supposed to pay you back?
I didn't really give him a time frame. He said that he would pay me back when he had received his taxes, which would be around February, March of 2021.
All right, and did he?
No.
Did he tell you anything about the taxes, or did he?
Yes, he did. He said he never received them.
Okay, so then what happens?
So,
time goes on, and do you tell him, hey, you still owe me the money?
Yes, I did, but between that time and the time that was going by, he had gotten into a car accident, so I was being lenient because he still had to pay that car off.
How often would you see him?
About every week.
Okay. And would that be because you would visit whoever? He's your nephew, how?
My sister.
Sister's son. Mm-hmm. So is that because you were visiting your sister, or the two of you would visit, or?
Oh no, he would come and pick her up because we take care of her other 2 children.
Okay.
So he would pick her up, come to our house, and that's how we would run into each other. When I brought up on several occasions to pay me back, he refused.
What would he say?
He would say, well, we're even. Me and my mom help you guys out.
Why?
I guess because he got me a phone. He used his discount.
To get you a phone, and that's how he supposedly paid you back?
Correct.
Was that ever part of the deal?
No, ma'am.
You just said, hey, nephew, can you get me a discount? And he did? And
no, he offered to use the
He
discount.
said, hey, you want a discount? Because I'm working at this particular place, so I can get you a discount on your phone. And you said, yeah, that sounds good. And then after that, he tells you, we're even.
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. When was it after you got the phone that he said we're even? Was there anything else he was throwing in your face?
Yes. He had also helped me get a credit card.
Okay.
So he said we're even again.
Okay. So. Mr. Alexander, let me hear from you. Did you borrow $600 for a car?
I did.
600.
500.
500 or 600?
500.
Was it 500 or 600?
I borrowed $500 in cash.
Okay. When I asked you if you borrowed 600, you said I did. And then I said, okay, 600, and then you said 500. Was it 600 or 500?
It was 600, ma'am.
Was it 600 or 500?
500.
Okay, does anybody have any proof of what it was?
My mom was there when I went to go to the bank to get it out the bank because I gave her
How's your mom going to remember how much money you took out of the bank?
I showed her the receipt. I don't have the receipt with me because I took out additional monies with that.
Okay, so how would she know how much you loaned him?
She was there when we had the transaction.
Did she stood there and watched you count it?
No.
Right.
But I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
She was there when he asked for the 600. Mm-hmm. So I I had it at the time.
So what's his relation to her? Anything?
My grandson.
Oh, that is
This
your
is my
grandson.
mother.
Oh, okay, I got it. And then you asked her for another loan for a phone, $179?
That is correct.
Okay. And why is, and they were always loans. The idea was you were going to pay her back, right?
That is true.
So have you paid her back?
I have not.
Okay. And why haven't you paid her back?
I haven't paid her back because I believe that we're even. I help them, they help me. I've saved them a lot of money over time too. So.
How does that pay off a loan, though?
I mean, it was more of like a verbal agreement. It was family.
Wait, verbal agreement. Did she say, oh, if you get me a phone, you don't have to pay me back?
No, but she did ask for a discount.
The plaintiff says her nephew needs to be taught a lesson because she loaned him money and the defendant won't pay up. The defendant says family is supposed to help family out, and that's what he did, so he and his aunt are even Steven. Let's listen.
When she says, hey, can you get me a discount? Do you ever say, oh, if I get you a discount, then I don't owe you the money? Did that come up?
Actually,
Or it was just understood in your head?
So it's come up multiple times. I'm like, well, this could contribute towards what I.
No. It comes up after the fact, and you say, we're done. That's not her agreeing to it. Did she ever say, if you get me a phone, you won't have to pay me back?
That is not true, but I did bring it up before transactions and after.
Did she ever say, if you get me a phone and get me a discount, you won't have to pay me back?
No, Your Honor.
Right. You know that. I know that. Your grandma knows that because your grandma's ready to jump to that side. Do you have a good relationship with your grandmother?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
We joke around.
She's kind of mad.
Yeah, they're always mad.
Yeah, well, yeah, but this is unique.
No, they're always
You
mad.
think that she's being petty taking you to court. She thinks you're being petty not paying back the loan. And mentioning, like, you know, what, that you got her a discount? Big deal. Did you get the commission on it?
Actually, where I work, we don't get commission on anything.
Okay, so what skin off your nose was that you got her a discount?
Well, because she asked me for it, and because she wanted a newer device at that time, so I
Okay,
assisted
so
her
what?
in getting
So
it.
why would that mean you don't have to pay back, you know, $779 or $679?
Because every single time they ask me to help them, I help them with something.
Okay, such as what? So there's the discount on the phone, and what else?
There's the discount with the phone, there's the trade-in guidance, helping them with making sure that, oh, you're getting the right price for what you're actually paying for, and then helping them
That's
with...
still the same phone, right?
Yeah, that's still the same phone. And then the timelines are also kind of messed up too, because like the car crashed before the $500 was given. That was like November 2020, because I crashed my car, was going through some stuff, and then actually, and the price of the car was like $900, so I shelled out $400. That's why I remember it being $500 that I asked for, which I have right here.
Oh, yeah, but that doesn't tell me how much you shelled out and how much she shelled out.
That is also true.
Okay, but in any event, whether she gave you $500 or $600, there is no question that when you needed money, the person you went to was your aunt, and your aunt loaned you money, not gifted you money, loaned you money, and you were supposed to pay her back, right?
That's correct.
Then why haven't you paid her back? Just because you got her a discount?
Well, because I also didn't get my tax money that year or the year after, so.
So when she says that your excuse was, I didn't get my tax money, that's truthful. You did tell her you'd pay back with tax money, and then you didn't get your tax money.
That is correct.
Okay, and why didn't you get your tax money?
Because I was dealing with things with like the IRS and stuff. They like held
Such
it,
as
so.
what?
So like they held my like refund or whatever, and then.
Because what? Did you have a judgment against you?
No, I did not.
Okay, do you have child support?
No, I do not.
So why did the IRS keep your money?
I'm not sure.
Or what did they say is the reason?
It kept going to default code every time I went to the website, and then trying to get on the phone with them was a hassle. So I never actually figured out why.
Actually, you know, ironically, and I can't stand customer service anywhere, the IRS is remarkably easy to get a hold of, I found. You know, it's just a half-hour wait. That's nothing compared to... in comparison to everything else in the world. So I'm kind of not buying that. But in any event, do you have any proof besides your mama of how much you get? Like, no text, nothing? You didn't have...
I have proof for the 179.
Yeah, no, but that one's not in dispute. It's the 500 versus the 600.
No, Your Honor.
No. All right. When he told you, well, I'm not paying you back because you got a discount, I presume you did not take that well.
No, Your Honor.
What happened?
Yes. Initially when I filed, he was very disrespectful. He came to my house yelling very disrespectfully to his grandmother and I didn't really take that very well because I'm already under a lot of stress. I'm behind on bills. I have a baby on the way, and I just wanted to put it behind us because after this, our relationship is very fractured right now. We don't communicate. It's not the same.
Did you know she had a baby on the way?
Not until recently. I got a text message out of nowhere, like, hey, do you want to come to this? And I politely declined.
Have you always had a good relationship with her?
It's been on and off throughout, like, childhood. Yeah.
What's the age difference between you two?
She's like...
I'm 29, he's
I'm
21.
21.
So it's not, okay.
Yeah, we kind of grew up together.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And that's what hurt me the most. He grew up in our house, and we were very close growing up. We would go on vacations together and stuff like this. For him to do this to me, it's very heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back to the People's Court. This is a case of aunt versus nephew. The question, did the plaintiff loan this money to the defendant, and does the defendant owe it back? Or was this employee discount essentially wiping the slate clean? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
Might I say something?
Yes.
The reason why I went to the house after finding out everything was because there was no warning. She didn't tell me that anything was being filed.
Why does she have to warn you? She already asked you for the money back and you said, I'm not paying you. What more is there?
But, like, she didn't give me any time frames or anything. Like, if she asked, like...
Well, you already said you weren't going to pay her. Okay. So what time frame? She would give you time frame to not pay her?
Well, I mean...
Like, in other words, there are consequences for your actions, too, I mean...
I understand.
Right. I agree with you. I would expect somebody to say, if you don't pay me, I'm going to sue you. However, they don't have to. They don't have to, because you're the guy who borrowed the money and said, I got you a phone, so now I'm not paying you. I mean, that's kind of petty, right?
That's true. But I also helped them with their car every time they needed assistance with that. Roadside calls aren't cheap. I just had to get a roadside call yesterday, and they've tried to charge me $150 just to come out and jump a car.
So you feel because you have done... So when you keep saying they, like you're grouping your grandmother... Mm-hmm. in the same, like they're the same person. So if you do something for one, the other one has to count it towards a debt, as opposed to that you just did something for your grandmother or you did something for your aunt.
So the reason why I grouped them as they is...
Dude, come on, man. Seriously, just stop and listen to yourself.
Yeah. The reason why I group them as they, though, is because every single time I have an issue with one, then the other one has an issue suddenly. So that's the only way.
Right, but look at what we've got here. If you loaned a friend of yours money and then the friend mowed your lawn, you're not feeling well, let me mow your lawn. Hey, now we're even. What would you think of that friend? That's what you're doing to your aunt. I mean, that's ridiculous. Unless she agreed that you would be even, you're not even. You don't get to say what pays back $779. You know what pays back $779? $779. That's what pays it back. You see? I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the entire amount of the $779.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, both sides, hold on, please.
So the plaintiff prevails. She's going to get everything she was suing for, $779. Alexander, the defendant's on his way out of the courtroom. Let me ask you first, what's your reaction to the judge's decision?
It is what it is, for the most part.
It is what it is.
Yeah. The judge had a completely reasonable stance, so I think that was fair. I just think that I could have said a little bit more than I did.
Well, you could have paid her back.
I could have done that too.
So what about the relationship now? As far as she's concerned, it's really kind of fractured, seriously. You understand that?
I understand. I also feel the same way about that. It is what it is, because it's always been in and out with her in my life. So it is what it is.
All right. Yeah. It is what it is. The exit is that way. So the plaintiff is on her way out of the courtroom. What can you say? Huh?
I hope my nephew and I can repair our relationship. We've grown up together, and it's really sad that money had to come between our relationship.
And how about you? How do you feel about it? Are you really upset with him?
I am, because when I sent her on vacation, he went with her. So we have 6 sisters.
Yeah.
I have 6 sisters.
Yeah.
They have 6 aunts. They would go to Texas, Arizona, spend the summer. He's close with all his cousins. I mean, big family.
It's a big disappointment to both of you,
Yeah.
right?
Very, very.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry about that, but you got what you're suing for.
Yes.
$779, and you should be happy.
I am. Thank you.
3 cheers for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, Harvey.
Doug, if you think you can cancel out your debt with something else you gave the other person, I got to tell you, you got to make that really clear.
Did either of you ever have to work the night court shift?
Thankfully, there was never a night court during my reign as a judge,
There never
nor
was
during
during-
yours,
yeah.
right? We never had to do that.
No.
I mean,
Well-
sometimes you'd hold a jury in a jury trial until midnight or
Yeah,
1
that's
in the
different. But
morning
we
or
don't
something, but
actually have court that starts at night in Miami.
Never did.
Yeah.
But we were both prosecutors.
Right.
You were a state prosecutor, I was a federal prosecutor. And part of what goes along with that is
Warrant duty.
and weekend emergency warrant duty.
So you'd get
nighttime,
woken up at
after
2 in the
hours.
morning. We need a
Right.
warrant.
You
The
have
same
a
thing happened
pager.
when you were a judge.
Right.
When we were judges, we would have to sign the warrant.
Right, because
when we
people
were
have-
prosecutors, we'd have to help write the warrant.
Right, because local police or federal agents, they might sit on a house and then actually hit the house in the middle of the night for whatever reason, or there could be a crime that occurs at 2 or 3 in the morning and they want to get a search warrant for a crime scene inside of a house, inside of a vehicle, inside of a business, and boom, your pager would go off, right?
Yeah, remember pagers?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. You get a beep on your pager. I remember one night after we'd been together only for a couple of years, you waking me up at like 2 or 3 a.m. and saying, listen, I got to go to a crime scene. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come along. I get in the car with you and we drive into this neighborhood and we get out of the car. There's police lights everywhere. We walk right through underneath the crime scene tape. And you had a notepad and some stuff, and there's a detective or a cop right there, and he said, yeah, this guy, there's a checkerboard turned over in front of the store, some beer cans laying there, and blood spatter everywhere, little things marking casings from bullets on the ground. And the guy looks at you and he goes, yeah, they're playing checkers, they got a little dispute here, this guy pulls out a gun on that guy, boom, 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 and he's DRT. And you're writing this stuff down, and you're just all of a sudden. So I walk back over to you as we're going back to the car a little bit later, and I go, what the heck is DRT? And you said,
Dead right there.
dead right there.
Which
So-
is not a thing. It's just an insider thing when it's not dead on arrival at the hospital.
Right, different from DOA,
Right.
DRT. He was dead right there. And yeah, it was kind of a grim thing to endure at 3 a.m.
It's funny because I do not remember. I am now remembering that happened, but if you would have asked me if you ever went on a crime scene
Right.
with me, I would have said no. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I did. You don't forget something like that. You don't forget the checkerboard upside down.
Well,
the
we
blood spatter all
prosecuted
over
very different crimes. In state court, you prosecute violent crimes. Your
Right.
crimes were paper crimes.
Right,
They were
for the most part.
drug crimes, but the actual like crazy scene is not something you would
Right.
see. Everything was like after the fact, historical. So
Yeah, we
you
didn't
had less
do
of a stomach for that.
so-called reactive crimes.
No,
that
not
are boom,
reactive
boom,
crime,
boom.
which is
not
what
as
you do.
often. We had some, but not as often. Even the bank robberies. By the time they got to the feds, the bank robbery
everything was
committed months
secure,
ago.
yeah,
right. It
right,
was
right.
committed months ago. It's the locals and the state authorities who are there usually. Right.
That's why my job was so much sexier.